The paper tore too loudly in the quiet living room. It wasn't a clean rip, it felt sharp, almost violent. The kind of sound that demands attention even when no one speaks. Shiny boxes open like forced smiles, all teeth and glare. Blue and silver light bounced across faces already expecting something good. My daughter's hand stopped mid-reach, empty, while the others lit up. Screens glowing in their wide eyes. Excitement crackled in the air. My mother-in-law laughed softly, controlled and precise. "Oh," she said, already turning away. "Those are for family." Everything froze. I felt the house hold its breath. The walls listened. My daughter slowly lowered her hands like moving too fast might make it worse. She didn't cry. She didn't ask. She swallowed her name the way you do when you've learned it won't be answered. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't blink. I stared at the smile that had nearly cut my child out of the room. That was the moment I decided how this would end. I had married into her pull, everything bent toward her approval. Holidays, conversations, even the furniture seemed arranged around her opinion. After my father-in-law died, she moved into our guest room temporarily, bringing casseroles and advice that clung to the house like smoke. No rent, no bills. All her rules. She called it help, sacrifice, grief. At first, I believed her, or maybe I needed to. I learned the routine quickly. Thank yous delivered on time. Silence when she corrected my parenting. Disagreement softened until it sounded like a question. She never raised her voice. She didn't need to. Control came naturally to her. She called my daughter sweetheart, dear. That little one, but never her name. Names give shape. Names mean belonging. She's delicate, she'd say with a sad tilt of her head. A word she used like a knife. My daughter isn't delicate. She's careful. She counts steps. She reads tone. She listens for shifts in the air the way other kids listen for ice cream trucks. She was 6 when she learned to scan faces for exits. I told myself I was keeping the peace. I told myself family takes patience. I told myself whatever I needed to sleep. The gifts were wrapped exactly the same paper, same ribbon. Same weight, fairness with one deliberate absence. I watched my mother-in-law that morning the way you watch a clock you know is lying. Her eyes skipped right over my daughter. Her hands lingered on the others, warm and claiming. This wasn't a mistake. It was planned. Later, as I cleared cups and crumpled paper, I saw the receipt on the counter. 5 phones, not 6. I held it in my hand and felt something inside me harden into certainty. This wasn't favoritism. It was a message. I asked her once calmly, privately, no witnesses, no raised voices. She didn't hesitate. She's not really family, she said, like she was commenting on the weather. Not by blood. She smiled as if the decision had already been made. In that smile, I saw my daughter's future laid out clearly, holidays with empty spaces. Photos where she stood just outside the frame. A childhood spent learning to accept less because someone else had already decided her value. My chest burned, but my hands were steady. My anger didn't explode. It sharpened. I didn't confront her right away. I cleaned. I folded laundry. I listened. Silence became my weapon. I noted dates and messages. The way she said we when she meant herself. The way she corrected my daughter's posture, her volume. Her presence always under the excuse of helping. I checked the lease, my name. My husband's, not hers. I printed bank statements showing every bill we paid. I backed up security footage not because I expected lies, but because truth deserves proof. At night, I watched my daughter sleep, her fingers curled around a book instead of a phone. She only looked peaceful when she was asleep. That cracked something open in me. I didn't promise her anything. I prepared instead. The next morning, I lined the phones up on the dining table, 5 cold, shining rectangles. She walked in with her coffee, confident, pleased. I kept my voice gentle. You have 24 hours, she laughed. For what? To leave. Her smile broke, then stiffened. You can't be serious. I am. She gestured around the room. This is my son's house, or house, I said. And you live here for free? Her voice sharpened. Over a phone? No, I said. Over a boundary. I slid the receipt across the table. Then the lease. Then her own messages explaining why my daughter didn't count as family. She tried everything: guilt, tears, authority, history, obligation. I didn't move. I won't let someone who erases my child live under my roof, I said. You taught me what family means. She looked at the phones like they had turned against her. It was too late. She understood the math. 24 hours. No discussion. She left with 2 suitcases and pride packed badly. The house finally breathed out. That night, I took my daughter for ice cream. She chose strawberries, she always does, safe, familiar. I didn't buy her a phone. I bought her time. Later, I tucked her into bed and said, You belong, she nodded. Like she already knew but still needed to hear it. Justice doesn't always make noise. Sometimes it just changes the locks and lets the quiet do the healing. Family is who you protect when it costs you something. And I'd pay that price again without hesitation.